We're going to call the meeting to order. The regular meeting of Mount Pleasant City Council, which is hereby called to the order at 6 p.m. on Tuesday, November 4th, 2025, is hereby called to order. A quorum of the council is present for the purpose of this meeting. And right now we're going to have the invocation. Pastor J.T. Burks from Abundant Life Church. And if you'll all rise.
Thank you for the privilege to be here tonight. Let us pray. God, we come to you with a heart of gratitude to thank you for being our loving Father. It is your grace that you have given us that has brought us this far, and it will bring us all the way through. Thank you for each individual in this room, all the people that we meet within our city and every other city. They're made in your image and in your likeness. You have given them dignity and infinite worth. You have charged us with the ability to give and to bless and return your goodness. So I thank you tonight for these officials, our mayor, our city manager, our city staff, our council members, first responders, hospital staff, all that work hard to make our city a beautiful place to live. So may we lean on your everlasting arms. Pray that you'll be honored tonight with the decisions of this council. Defend our every just cause. This governing body be blessed. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory. We pray all these things in the mighty name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, it's been suggested to me before we start the open meeting that we need to make sure that we set the decorum for our city council, right? There's not going to be any attacks on anybody. There's not going to be any yelling, pounding the podium, and just realize that this is going on YouTube forever. So let's just be mindful about what we say. Okay? I appreciate y'all all showing up. Public comments during public comments, members of the public are expected to conduct themselves in a civil manner and should not personally attack employees or council members. The City Council welcomes citizen participation and comments at all council meetings. Citizens' comments are limited to 3 minutes out of respect for everyone's time. The council is not permitted to respond to your comments. The Texas Open Meetings Act requires that the topics of discussion deliberation be posted on the agenda not less than 72 hours in advance of the council meetings. If your comment relates to a topic that is on the agenda, the council will be able to discuss that topic on the agenda at the time the topic is discussed and deliberated. So are there any comments? All right, state your name and your address.
Oh, I have to say my address, I forgot. Hi, my name is Amy Hinton, and my address is Redfern Court in Mount Pleasant, Texas. I don't want to say the exact number. What if somebody eggs me?
I understand. Yeah.
Just kidding. I'm here today as a Rotarian. I have been a Rotarian for 30 years. Actually, I think it's almost 31. I've been a Rotarian longer than I've been married. So our motto is service above self. And we're the oldest service organization in Mount Pleasant. Very proud of it. And I came to address you tonight, Mayor and Council and City Manager, Mr. Vine. Very excited about our upcoming parade. It will be Saturday, December 6th. It starts at 6 p.m. The theme this year is picked by our president every year, and this year it's United by Christmas. So everyone's very excited about it. I wanted to invite you all to be there and invite the public, but I also came to thank the city in advance, and then also for the last 34 years. This is our 34th parade. I've been in charge of it. I think this is my 15th year. And Mr. Vine, when he was here previously, helped the whole course of the parade and the route, and he's going to try his hardest to be at our IAP this year and kind of talk about it and celebrate it. So we're very excited about it. So we want to make sure that you guys all know and are invited. So thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you, Amy. Anybody else? All right. Just state your name and your address. Yes. Oh, sure.
Oh, probably. But today, I found myself, and by the way, my name's David. I'm not going to give my address because apparently this past week we've had people come out onto the property. If you want to threaten me, well, that's where we're going to go. Anyway, I found myself today questioning some things about this Melanie Knight Tafoya thing. And it brought me back to the last council, that when I started figuring out information about them, that I absolutely gave them a chance to get up and speak, because the truth will set you free. And then I started going through timelines of April, May, June, July, August of this year, putting things together and what everybody was doing. And then I started figuring out things that happened a year ago. And I started figuring out things that happened in church and things like that. It's not what I'm here to talk about. If anybody here has a problem or any questions of when I actually bring information to this council or to this city, all you need to do is talk to a sitting council member right now who's sitting on this bench. Talk to the other city council members of how I operate. Talk to a former city council member that when I was bringing up information on the old council that things didn't make sense, I actually approached this person and said, when you go to court, you make sure you contact me and your lawyer contacts me, because I'll speak for you, because there are things that I found out. I don't go blind. I usually know the answer before I speak. And if there's something that's done wrong, we could usually talk about it, but if you push it too far, we're gonna go all the way just like we did with the last council. So rather than reading all this, I'm just gonna go ahead and sit here and just read the last part of it. To proceed fairly and transparently, I respectfully recommend the course of this course. This is what I'm asking you guys. Melanie Knight Tafoya should be sworn in and do a written disclosure detailing the timeline of the start date of a relationship with Nathan Tafoya, including the marriage date. There's 2 dates there: when it started, when they were married. Important. To disclose in full any detailed confidential information or votes to progress her husband's, any business associates that have been discussed out of normal and legal proceedings. Important. This should also include a deep audit into campaign funds, financials, loans, gifts, money, anything to do with her campaign. We can't do that here, but I have the paperwork already written up and it will be filed. Important. Lastly, an immediate vote of no confidence, and I want you guys to listen to this. Melanie, I want you to listen to this, because believe it or not, I tried to find you leeway here. I'm trying to find the truth, and it's only one question you refuse to answer in front of everybody that could set you free. You forced me to dig. I'm going to wrap it up. I got 15 seconds. An immediate vote of no confidence by this city council tonight, and total recusal by Melanie Knight Tafoya from this and future meetings of council until, big word, until A sworn statement answering the above questions by Councilwoman Melanie Knight Tafoya is legally recorded. Let's get her on the record, because I've got information. Our public taxpayers and objectives must be to ensure the rule of law and protect public confidence through fair, thorough, transparent process, and to not seek a witch trial or make a victim out of.
Thanks, Dave. Appreciate it. Would anybody else like to speak? Anybody online? Okay. We're gonna go ahead and move into the consent agenda. Items on the consent agenda are approved through a single council motion, which applies to all items listed. Consent agenda items are considered routine, not likely to require discussion or deliberation, and may be discussed prior to making a motion. There will be no separate discussion on these items unless a council member requests an item be removed and considered separately. Does any member wish to remove an item for the agenda for discussion?
Yes, Mayor, I'd like to remove item 4, the Snyder Electric meter replacement program. I'd like to remove that from the consent agenda.
Okay, Madam Secretary, with that? Okay. And then we'll go ahead for the other items. We'll go ahead and move into an emotion to approve all items on the consent agenda except for item number 4. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to vote on all items except 4 on the consent agenda.
All right.
I'd second.
All right, Madam Secretary, can you take the vote, please?
Yes. Aye.
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 And Lee, you're gonna have to remind me on item number 4, when do we take care of that?
Mayor, you should go ahead and take care of that item
Okay,
next.
all right, cool. Let's go ahead and move on to item number 4. That's consider pay request number 9 for Snyder Electric for the meter replacement. Discussion?
Good evening. Do you want me to go over the whole thing?
Yeah, the high points and
Okay.
where we're at and what we've done.
Okay. What I'm gonna be looking at is the one that says memorandum on top. Just in case y'all wanna look at it, what I'm gonna be going over. So, this is the final pay, for the Snyder Electric. This is our meter replacement program that we did. This is pay request number 9. If you want me to go over the background of the whole thing, I can. It's just a quick synopsis. So the meter replacement, if Debbie wouldn't remember, but around 10 years ago, maybe 11, we replaced all our meters, kinda. We took the old dials off and we put a new dial on that attached to a reading system that we did drive by around town. During COVID time, our warranty ran out and those chips started failing. So we had 2 options: wait until COVID stopped and we could catch up, or start looking at another route because we couldn't go through that again. 30% of all our meters are dead, and the remaining were dying or either just not reading the right way. You'd have a resident with 10,000 gallons of water, which he never did use, kind of things like that. So we had to start looking at different options. So when we started looking into it, we had go the same course of what we'd already had used and pay X amount of dollars, or upgrade just a little bit more to a whole different system that could give the power to the residents with a mobile app or whatever device they used, where they could read their own meters and they could see a water leak well before we ever could. So that's when we decided to go with that route. And I believe it wasn't that much different, but it was just a tad bit more. So when we started doing the project, we budgeted the amount for the whole thing of $6 million. After going through it, the city decided to buy the meters ourselves and cut out the middleman. And that alone saved us $1 million by just buying them directly from the actual manufacturer. And then we signed the contract with Snyder for the remaining amount. In this past, I believe in early part 2024, they showed up and started doing the meters. And technically around February of this year, they actually stopped. It just took a long time to get all of it, warranties and everything running the right way before we would sign off and say, hey, you are done. So this is finally the final paycheck or the pay request for that contract. Before they sent us that, they took off the savings off of their contract because we stopped it short of 150 meters for, let's say, difficult meters that the city decided we're gonna do ourselves. So we'll just save that cost and we'll do them over time. It's roughly around 150. We've already done some of them. We're just not 100%. I think there's maybe, I'd say 110 left to do out of those 150. But they took that off their final pay request, which was $100,651. They took off of their contract for this last pay request. And this last pay request with Snyder is $362,574.41. The savings total will now be $1,244,197. And the total project cost with everything was $4,755,803. Okay.
And that's what I wanted you to focus on. I want everybody to know, y'all took it over, y'all are doing the last ones, and we're saving over $1 million. So, thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, and I just want to let y'all know that I use the app. We need to figure out some way to get that more broader out to everybody, but it actually found a leak for me. Because I was one of those people where my bill like doubled and tripled, but I went into that app and it was showing that I was using like 5 gallons an hour. So I had a plumbing company come out, they fixed it, and I took my repair bill over to the water department and was told that they'll actually help with the cost of that, either take it off your bill or whatever. So if that'll help with people. We just got to get the app to everybody. It was really easy to use, super helpful. So I appreciate it.
The link and all the information for the app is actually on the city website, I believe. So if they go to the city website, they can bring up the information for the app and how to download it and how to do the login and everything for it.
Like in the water section or?
I believe it's under the utility page of our website. I'm not real sure, but I believe it is underneath the utility page.
Okay.
Okay?
That's perfect. Thanks, bud. Any more questions? All right. Thanks. All right, and we'll go ahead and move on to item number 7.
Yeah, you actually need a motion on
Oh,
that.
that's right. Can we go ahead and get a motion to vote on item number 4?
I make a motion that we approve pay request number 9 for Snyder Electric for the meter replacement program.
A second.
Madam Secretary, can we get a vote?
Aye.
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 Yes.
This is going to throw off everybody. Okay. It was unanimous, and we're going to go ahead and move over to the regular agenda. Item number 7, proclamation for Sproul Honda. So, and I get to present.
We need to take pictures.
All right. So I'm going to read this last part right here, okay? Now therefore be it resolved, I, Wesley Lyon, by virtue and authority and power vested in me as mayor of City of Mount Pleasant, Texas, do hereby congratulate Dixie Sproul and members of the Sproul Honda for their dedication to our community. And we want to thank you very much.
Thank you for thanking me.
Yeah, you bet.
I would like to say one thing. I've known Miss Sproul since I was very, very young. And when I heard that she had gotten this award for working, it's not that the business has been open, it's that she is still working. You know, most of us that are in business, how many times do we just want to give up? And when I know that she has persistently done this wonderful business in lieu of a death of a husband, in lieu of all the things that have happened, I want to applaud you. You're just amazing that you're still working. Thank you.
You bet. Thank you again, Miss Dixie. All right, we're gonna go ahead and move on to item number 8, monthly financial report for end of October 31st, and Jillian is gonna present the item.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. So this will be our first monthly report for the new fiscal year. So you'll see all the new budget numbers are in there. So we're starting fresh, wiping out last year, now we're on to the next year on new allocations and everything. So as normal, we'll start with the general fund. And we see that those are coming in about how they typically would. We're a little bit low on property tax this year, but I think that's just a little slight delay in the billing of it, so we'll see that come in the next couple months where most of property tax money comes in. So that's not any concern. And we'll see that graph in a second. And then also sales tax is running right within what we have budgeted, so that is actually a little over what we budgeted, so that's really good. We'll see that in a second as well. We'll see October, and then at the end of the presentation, we'll see November's numbers, which are also the same. So for the first month, we have 8% of year-to-date budget for revenues. And then here's that property tax graph. Looking at the actuals and budget down at the bottom, our actuals are a little bit above what the budget says, so that's good. We're still getting them in, just a little bit slower than last year was. And then over on the sales tax side, I showed you this last month, we're 3% over prior year and 3% over budget, so that's really good. Both are coming in as they should. And then over onto the expense side, again, our total expense for the first month is only 5%, so that's really good. I know a few of our bigger one-time things per year purchases got a little delayed, so those will hit either this month or next, but those will come in. So it looks like a few of the departments are running a lot lower than last year. That's just the timing difference on when those bills hit. But overall, everything's staying right where it should be. And as of end of October, we have an excess of $486,000, which is really good. And then we'll move on to the utility fund. Over on the utility fund, revenues are also coming in good. We're at 9% this year, 8.4% last year. So those rates that went in back in January are still hitting. We are not looking at any rate increases at the current moment, so that's good for all the citizens as well. And then over on the expense side, we have 3.7 on the expenses. It looks like a couple bills, kind of timing differences also didn't line up. So the solid waste management department doesn't have anything currently. That's just a timing thing. It'll hit a different month. The different month will look like it doubles. But overall, steady where it should be. And the utility fund is sitting at an excess of 1.1 million, which is also good, which will help us get our fund balance back to where it should be for industry standards. And then here's our sales tax collections for November. We like to see that green line shoot up really high, so that's really good. So that's our actual sales for September, in-store sales for September, is what this November number shows here. And so that shows percentages here. We are 7.8% above budget and 13.9% above prior year. So that's really good. Keeping those steady. We'd like to see those continue throughout the whole year.
Absolutely. Was that before Marshall's opened?
Marshalls will not hit until I believe next month, and that's only going to be a partial month with Marshalls.
All right, that's great.
Yeah. So we'll see about 2 weeks of Marshalls being open on our December numbers. And that's all I got. Do we have any questions?
Any questions? That's right. Keep shopping local. All right. Thank you, Jillian.
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll move on to item number 9, presentation and consideration of ordinance 2025-20, a budget amendment for $16,000 grant from the Ladd and Catherine Cancer Library Foundation to Mount Pleasant Public Library. And Guadalupe is going to present this item. Superstar.
Hi, Mr. Mayor, Council, Mr. Vine. So I am just presenting a grant that we received at the library, the Ladd and Catherine Hancher grant. And we received $16,000, and we're very excited. We're going to be making improvements to our library by purchasing some children's furniture. So replacing some of the furniture we have there with something a little bit more modern and a little bit sturdier. And then also expanding our large print collection and our adult Spanish collection as well. And I'm open to any questions.
Oh, great. All right, superstar. Look, you're squared away. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Always going above and beyond. Thank you, Lupe.
Thank you.
All right, we're moving on to item number 10, discuss and consider ordinance.
We will need a motion on
Yeah.
that budget amendment since it is an ordinance.
Oh, that's right. Thank you, Jill.
Yeah.
We gotta get a motion on item number 9.
I make a motion to vote on ordinance number 2025-20.
I second.
Madam Secretary, can you take the vote, please?
Aye.
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 Yes.
Aye.
All right, unanimous. And thanks again, Lupe. All right, we'll go ahead and move on to item number 10. Discuss and consider ordinance 2025-21, a contingent fee contract with Purdue, Brandon, Builder, Collins, and Mott LLP for the collection of delinquent municipal liens owed to the city of Mount Pleasant, and Lynn's gonna present this. Hey, Lynn.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This item was a repeat back on the agenda for action tonight. Last time we went through this particular presentation. I'm happy to do it again for the audience. Danny, I'm not sure if Danny Barrett is not on, so the gentleman who gave it before, who works very closely with the Texas Community Group, which helps with the implementation of their municipal liens program, gave it last time. I can give it this time. We can go through it fairly quickly, and then you can answer any questions. It is coming forward for action tonight.
Okay. Y'all want a recap, or are we good from the?
I'm good.
Okay, all right, we'll go ahead. Yeah, and it's on YouTube if anybody is interested. We're good, Lynn. We
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Okay,
We Appreciate
awesome.
it. All right, and so no discussion from the council? Is there a motion to approve ordinance 2025-21 with the firm of Purdue, Brandon, Fielder, Collins, and Mott LLP as presented?
I'll make a motion, to approval of ordinance 2025-21 with the firm of Purdue, Brandon, Fielder, Collins, and Mott LLP as presented.
I second the motion.
All right. Madam Secretary, can we get a vote, please?
Aye.
Aye.
Yes.
Aye.
Aye.
All right, passed unanimously. We're gonna go ahead and move on to item number 11. Presentation of conceptual pool design, and Garrett's gonna present this. How's it going, Garrett?
Good evening, council, mayor, city manager. Fine. So I have the privilege of presenting a popular subject. There's been a lot of talk over the last couple years since the pool was demoed about bringing a pool back to Mount Pleasant. So, just a little background on what I got here today. The staff were directed to pursue an estimated cost study for constructing a municipal pool. The city of Mount Pleasant selected the Brandon Corporation to prepare a conceptual layout at the existing location at the with a pool with roughly 4,000 to 6,000 square foot. This is a informative presentation to show conceptual designs and update on costs associated with this type of project.
Did you say it's going back into the same spot?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Oh, well, it's not going anywhere. This
Oh,
is
yeah, yeah.
informative. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah.
Okay.
The
So,
plan. I got you.
the idea would be to go back in Delwood Park.
I got
So that's where we're at here. Okay. So this is the existing or the old location of the swimming pool. So when the pool was demoed, we backfilled with select fill materials. So it's actually a prime site for any future development. So that would be the best location in Mount Pleasant for a swimming pool or anything you want to do there that needs a good foundation. We selected Delwood Park just because that's the historical pool area. Next slide. I'm gonna touch base on this real quick. So there's 3 concepts in here. It's kind of just showing you what different sizes. They're gonna vary from 4,000 to 6,000 square feet, and it's gonna be one at the cheaper note will be a little bit smaller with kind of the similar amenities. So they're all gonna share common amenities. So I won't touch too much on the cost of this little breakdown, but I'll get to that later. Okay. So this is a conceptual layout of one of the options. You can see one of the big differences in price on projects like this would be going from a large kind of slide, a lot of fun for the kids, compared to a little, like a small slide. So that's gonna be like a $175,000 option. That makes the big difference between the $2.3 million to $2.7 million pool. So these are just conceptual. They can be picked and choose and turned all around, just for ideas. And I have the same breakdown for all of them. So you can kind of see the same price breakdown. Another layout, similar, just changing up the design. Same breakdown. This next one will be the largest one, and it's going to be your higher price point. So it's a nice kidney-sized shaped pool, and it's got all the amenities. Another thing to touch on is these prices cover bathhouse, office, concession stand, all that, fencing. This would be a turnkey project. This is what a turnkey project would look like. So these are real numbers and very realistic outlooks on what that would cost. So as you can see, all the concepts include office, storage, restroom facilities, fencing, shade structures, each pool out offers seating, multi-use areas for different pool activities, additional add-ons like slides, splash ground, features, and all their options. So the important thing, financial impact. So as you can see, we go from initial estimates, put the cost of a building a community swimming pool in the price range of $2.3 to $2.7 million, with varying levels of amenities choosing from that price. We also have yearly costs associated with a project like this. So it's not just building it, it's funding it for years to come. So we put together a draft budget, and we've got to about about $200,000 is what it costs to run one a year. And that's gonna get you about 3 months of operation. That's important to remember. If you go with a different style of pool, like an enclosed pool area, now your operational costs are gonna be much higher. But you can get an indoor pool about the same price, but it'd be stripped down, just a swimming pool. So that's another thing. It's not included in here, but I've talked to a few professionals, and they're in the same price point. We would also have to create a pool manager position, and then at least 12 part-time lifeguard position. This is that budget breakdown of the $191,000. If you have any questions, I know I was kind of rambling. I'll take any questions at this moment.
I didn't see insurance on there on the operational cost.
Yes, so I didn't have those exact numbers, but it will be a significant increase in our insurance.
Okay. And then, because I think I was talking, with City Manager Rob earlier, when were these renderings put together?
We've had them 3 to 6 months, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. So we put them together when, started with Kimberly Meek, and me and Greg worked on it, and then now we're here.
Okay.
So we didn't really know what to do with them or see what direction to go with them, so
That's fair.
that's why we're here now.
And I see the cost side, but the one, I guess, wrinkle I would say is, have we done any, projected, on the flip side, right, what would it generate? So that way you would see what the real cost, like the Civic Center, right, it does generate money, but it doesn't always generate enough. So,
Yeah.
that's kind of a question.
So my suggestion would be go with the feasibility study, and they could probably project what we could make and profit, and see the feasibility of actually doing one if we want to go that route.
Awesome. All right, well, I thought the presentation looked good. No, thanks for getting up here and.
Yes, sir.
Anyone else have anything?
And have we researched for like grants, and are we allowed to get donations for that kind of thing?
Yes, so there is some grants, but they only go up to about $300,000, and that's helpful. But it's a different grant than like a Texas Parks and Wildlife grant.
Right.
So it's a pool-specific kind of grant.
Okay. And Rob, for you, could we take donations, or?
I think that that's an option that we could definitely look at, and I was gonna touch on after all the comments. The reason Garrett is here giving this presentation tonight is, one, we've already had a study. You don't pay for a study, and then not do anything with that information. We want to be accountable and transparent. And then also Councilmember Hageman that's one of the things we had got onto the council to talk about, that we wanted to make sure that we discussed that, had that information, and if we are not recommending, we are just providing information this evening, but if council in the coming months wants to provide direction to move it in a certain direction, we will certainly follow the direction.
Garrett, so I am not educated on swim teams. So I was looking at I love the way you've done all of it. I think it's great. But is there a way, and maybe I'm looking at people here that have kids that are on swim teams, I think, don't kids have to go to Longview? And so are those layouts good where you can know?
I was wondering of that.
The kidney shape is the second one good?
They're all adjustable, and we didn't get too far into that, but the problem is it's what you want. That would be one of the big questions. Do you want to serve as a community pool? Do you want a swimming pool for swimming teams? You can try to get both, and I've been told it doesn't work that great, but there is some options, and that first one, you can get a little bit of both worlds. It's the size, when you go the size for a swimming team, the depth changes a lot on cost. So your cost to benefit is very hard to get back.
I just obviously look at how can we make money and pay it back.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's definitely worth looking at. Sure.
Yeah, I know water polo and swim teams and meets and stuff like that would bring people in, but I didn't know if our school had an auditorium.
They don't.
No.
Garrett, can we get a high dive?
So this one
For
doesn't
your
have
belly
like a
buster?
deep end like we used to have.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Any more questions? Thanks,
All right.
Garrett. I
Thank y'all
appreciate
for
you,
your
buddy.
time.
Yeah. All right. So item number 12, discuss and consider resolution 2025-17, City of Mount Pleasant Council travel policy. And Lee's gonna present this.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. As you know, we discussed this policy in executive session, and this follows back in, I think, June of 2024. The council sort of discontinued reimbursement for travel and things of that nature until you'd adopted a policy. And so this is to fulfill that, to have a policy so that you are setting expectations and rules on how any kind of travel expenditures will be handled. And it's obviously laid out in detail, but I will give you sort of a big picture overview. First, local travel is not reimbursable. So if anybody's traveling locally, and that's inside Titus County, for city business, it's not reimbursable. In terms of distant travel, any travel outside of Titus County, council members could seek reimbursement for those expenses. And the process to do that is completion of a form that provides detailed information, and then that person, the individual seeking reimbursement, would have to sign, not, no stamps or anything like that. They'd have to sign it and attest to the accuracy of it. And then 2 other council members who were not involved in that travel would have to approve it, basically, sign off on that. So you have basically a checks and balances system in place. And then it goes through more detailed items just because sometimes you might have some need to be further away than just outside of Titus County. You might be going to, say, a TML event or some other conference or some other function. And in such cases, you need to cover other things. And so we have covered that. So the city encourages the use of the loaner vehicles that are available at the city. And then the only reimbursement would be if you had to actually fill up the gas tank. Encourages use of a personal vehicle that is owned or leased by the council member. And then reimbursement is based on mileage that's documented through either a map type app or from odometer readings. If there was a need to use a car rental, you're supposed to do that very economically and a smaller vehicle as opposed to an expensive vehicle. You can upgrade at your own expense, but you would have to provide the differential. The city would only be paying for the portion that is considered reimbursed. Other transportation fees, if you were doing some sort of city business for a city business purpose, would be like shuttle services or Uber or other things of that nature. You'd have to have receipts and things like that to establish that. If you had to have lodging, sometimes if you're going to a conference, the city establishes that. It might be at the facility where the conference is being held. But if you were making your own lodging arrangements, it would be capped at GSA lodging rates for the area. When you go online, you can see what those caps are. Food and beverages, again, all of these are only if you're outside of Titus County for city business purpose. You're expected to select something reasonable in terms of a restaurant, and then you would be capped at the maximum amount that the city allows for employees for like a per diem. So, you may choose to eat someplace more expensive, but you would be capped at the amount for the per diem. It covers some other things like miscellaneous expenses that might come into play if you were traveling for the city. It provides some, like if you're traveling and you're involved in an accident, that's your responsibility with your vehicle, things of that nature. Not covering alcoholic beverages. And if you were traveling, like if your spouse or a guest came with you, those expenses would not be covered. And then it also includes a travel and expense reimbursement request that has a lot of little details that you have to fill out. and a certification there that the person who submits it is certifying that it's a true and correct statement of mileage and expenses incurred for business travel for city business, and that they're requesting the reimbursement for the same. And I'm happy to answer any questions, but there's a resolution that's in front of it, and then it would be the policy if you are so inclined to adopt it.
So Lee, I know that we were talking about the lease car. Is that going to be like a requirement to be the first choice? Did we decide that, or?
No, it doesn't. So for the loaner vehicle, if you could use a loaner vehicle. It might depend on availability of that vehicle. If you're traveling together, you have to be mindful of the Open Meetings Act restrictions, so you can't all be, you can't have too many people in that vehicle. And so there could be, but it's encouraged if you were traveling outside, if that's a feasible option for you. So.
Any discussion?
I would like to say that I'm thankful that we are making steps in getting things written down and policies and resolutions. We found that there was so much lacking, and so if we can gradually get these things in writing, I think it's going to make for a better council, better city, better boards, everything. And so I'm thankful that we're starting to work on stuff.
I think what you had before was really something gauged for the city employees more than it was for the council.
Yeah, and just before we get blasted, saying here it starts again. This is something that Rob and Lee and the council has been pushing, is to lay down a framework, right? So we have something to go by, and so we can actually point back to it, okay, for accountability. So I applaud you and him and y'all for coming up with it. I think it's great just to standardize. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
All right. So is there a motion to approve Resolution 2025-17, adopting a City of Mount Pleasant Council travel policy?
I make a motion to approve Resolution 2025-17, adopting a City of Mount Pleasant Council travel policy.
Second.
I second the motion.
Madam Secretary, can we get a vote, please?
Aye.
Yes.
Aye.
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 All right, passed unanimously. Let's go ahead and move on to item number 13, discussion of social media policy for the City of Mount Pleasant. This will be Candace. And it's the same thing. We're setting framework so we can have guidelines to go by. So thank you, Candace, for presenting it to us.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. So this is just a discussion. Everyone should have a copy of the draft policy. There are several things that are changed, but one of the main things are the comments on like our social media will be turned off. And then also the comments on our live streaming will be turned off. And so I was asked to bring this forward and present this, and I talked to the city attorney and the city manager. So I'm going to pass off to the city attorney to get the rest of it.
Thank you.
So thank you, Mayor and Council. So this issue sort of arose about the possibility of the city discontinuing the comment feature on their social media sites. And so it was my recommendation that you not do that without a policy in place, and that the public be informed in advance. Council completely concurred with that and suggested that you have this posted on a couple of agendas before you consider its adoption, so that the public understands what you're thinking. You can make adjustments, whatever that might be. And so, as proposed, beginning January 2nd of 2026, the City of Mount Pleasant would cease and discontinue the comment and message feature on its social media accounts, and no comments or messages could be received or posted. And so this is not intended to prevent the public from commenting on this. The city is welcoming citizens and other members of the public to attend its meetings. And if you are unable to attend the meeting, then you can provide comments that you want made. so long as they're provided to the city secretary 24 hours in advance of the meeting, and then they can be read. And so it's not intended to prevent that, it's just intended to direct it in a different manner, so that it's, sometimes I think when you've had people reading comments off of the YouTube, it's not presented in a format that's cohesive, like someone preparing a statement to be read to the council and the rest of the public. And so the rest of the policy really talks about that the city will maintain its comments that it presently has, because the city has a legal obligation to do that. There's limited exceptions when those comments could be taken down or pulled off. And so the rest of the policy really describes that. And so that's really what it's relating to. And there's just limited exceptions for when the city can decide to pull comments down. In other words, it's not content-based unless it's something that is considered to be prohibited content, that is, for example, advocating for violence or contains obscenity or things of that nature. Those are listed under the prohibited content portion of this policy under content monitoring. So, happy to answer any questions.
I've got one, Lee. I thought we were looking at a 2-hour window before the meeting.
We can change that if that's what you would like to do. I thought it was 24, but
That had been one of the options, sorry.
Oh, okay.
That had been one of the options that we had discussed, and this is your policy. So that is something that is doable.
Yep.
I like the 2-hour rule,
okay.
more than the
Happy to do
24-hour
that.
rule.
And are we gonna change, I know we were talking about for safety concerns, are we changing our live stream for 15-minute delay, or?
That is not included and specified in here,
On
but
this
it's
one?
something that you can certainly.
And I
We
know
had
we
had
were-
that conversation as well.
Yeah, I know that's a big safety concern. And it's how a lot of meetings are ran, right, for safety reasons.
We can add that to this policy as well. Mr. Vine, I'm sure.
I
can help.
would like that. Okay,
All right,
awesome.
so this will be on another agenda or two, I guess, coming in December, so that people can kind of understand it and provide. We've already gotten some feedback here that I'll make some edits to it. All right,
Awesome.
thank you.
Thank you, Lee. All right, we're going for the city manager's report. Item number 14, Rob.
Mayor and Mayor Pro Tem, members of council, just a short report this evening. Our salary study is progressing. We are along the same timeline that we had definitely set out to at the very beginning. The employees are completing what's called the position assessment survey for each position in the organization. And what that allows the consultant to do is just not compare job titles with job titles. He actually looks at areas of responsibilities, job duties, required training or certification, work complexity, work level, and that organizational impact. So really taking a deep dive. So we're a little over half completed with the positional assessment survey. And then after that, the work really starts for the consultant. There's a lot of information to dive through. But that's progressing. Staff is working with our city's financial consultant firm, Hilltop Securities. Development Director Lynn and myself have been talking to a few different commercial developers along the I-30 corridor. And our goal is to have one of these development incentive programs agreement to you December 2nd. We're not able to announce anything quite yet, but if it does go through, and we believe it will, it should be a catalyst for I-30 to develop. Request for qualification for legal services will be posted on the city's website tomorrow and subsequently advertised according to law. To search for a new city attorney, and the process will allow us to receive competitive rates and proposals for this vital service and position. I will publicly say that this RFP does not indicate in any way that we are not happy with our current city attorney, but she is, as we know, officed in San Antonio, and we believe it would serve both parties a little better if we had someone that was a little bit closer. So we are working on that. We're definitely happy having Lee here this evening, happy with the work that she's provided. Lastly, one of the directives that you presented to me before you hired me was to bring community stakeholders back to the table and build a relationship. So I wanted to give you an update on that. Since taking office, I've met with TriSud, MPISD, TxDOT, NTCC, Christus, Titus County, the Chamber, and some of our downtown merchants to start that process. To uphold or to continue this, we've scheduled monthly meetings, not just with each of you, but with staff, the county judge, chamber director, EDC director, Titus County Freshwater District Manager Grubb, and a few others. So that, I just wanted to share that with you and also with the public to know that we are taking that seriously, myself and staff, and we're making this a priority. So that we are going to reach that objective, not just as ourselves as a city, with our partners next to it. And we're going to get better and back where we need to be. So I just wanted to give you an update that we are in a lot of meetings, but they're very productive. That's all I have.
Did we find the Civic Center report?
So we will have one in the next city council packet, but there in my biweekly report, there is an information or is a report in there from the city chamber. I'm sorry, we're talking about the Civic Center. There's a report in there from the Civic Center that outlines that information that we have. The next agenda, we will have one in here. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, and something for continuity, Rob and I attend the EDC meetings as ex officio to just help with communication and everything, and it's helped a whole lot, you know. So yeah, he has a lot of meetings. He's doing good. All right, any council comment?
Tomorrow, 5:30, tree lighting ceremony. Am I correct on that?
Yep.
It was a good event last year, and I plan on attending tomorrow.
I just want to say thank you, Rob. It's been great to have you on so far, and we see all the hard work you've been doing and the transparency with the council and the outreach with the community. So thank you.
Absolutely.
I believe we would be remiss if we did not mention that the Tigers are in the playoffs this week. So we wish them the best. We couldn't be at the pep rally this evening, but we definitely wish them the best. So I wanted to say that publicly.
Yeah, their turnout was a little bit better than ours. I think we did good though. Oh, good. That's awesome. Awesome. That's great. That's super cool. Well, thank y'all. Thanks, Rob. And let's see. Pursuant to the Open Meetings Act, Chapter 551, Texas Government Code, the City Council will recess into executive session, closed meeting to discuss the following. Consultation with attorney, Texas Government Code 551.071 regarding contract terms and provisions concerning city interlocal agreement for fire services with Titus County. Consultation with attorney, Texas Government Code 551.071 regarding possible adoption of rules and procedures, city council members and city council meetings. And consultation with attorney, Texas Government Code 551.071 and personal matters, Texas Government Code 551.074 to consider, discuss, and deliberate the ethics complaint filed against Councilmember Melanie Knight Foya. In accordance with the Texas Code, Chapter 551, the City Council will reconvene into regular session to consider it if any matters are discussed in executive session. So we will be back. 6:59. Thank y'all. Oh, I know. That threw me off. I was like, golly. right, it's 9:11. We're coming back in from executive session. And we're gonna need a motion.
Mayor, I think there's no action on item 15, and then I think the next item is item 16.
All right, so we're coming back on item 16, possible discussion and action on ethics complaint filed against Councilmember Melanie Knight Latoya. Do I have a motion?
I move that the city of Mount Pleasant hire an independent third party to investigate the ethics complaint that's been lodged against Melanie Knight Tafoya under the city's ethics code with the powers of investigation under the charter, and report the investigation findings back to the council, and that the council shall reserve the right to take any action until the investigation is complete. The city attorney and city manager will assist in locating an independent third party to investigate.
Have a second?
I second the motion.
Madam Secretary, can you make the vote?
Aye.
Aye.
Yes.
In the effort of transparency and ensuring that the trust is still with the city and with the city council based on how we originally ran, I think it's best we do move forward, so aye.
Nope.
All right, it passed unanimously. Oh, sorry. 4-1. Lee, do we need anything else?
No, Mayor, just to note for the record, there was no action on item 15, is that correct?
Correct.
I would like to take this moment to speak. Good evening, Mount Pleasant. Thank you for giving me the chance to speak clearly and truthfully tonight. There have been many accusations, assumptions, and even a formal ethics complaint filed against me regarding my integrity, our relationship, and my service on this council. So I want to walk through the truth. It doesn't need embellishment, it just needs daylight. I will speak, but I will not participate in the theatrics of manufactured outrage. However, I would like to address any appearance of impropriety that has been outright declared by members of the public who live in the county, but acting on the self-appointed behalf of my constituents in the city of Mount Pleasant, and which has been acted upon without investigation or evidence or personal discussion. Over the past several weeks, there's been speculation and criticism surrounding my personal life and my continued service on the city council. I want to address these concerns with the transparency our community deserves, but also commiserate to the absurdity that these claims deserve. Several months after my now husband Nathan's departure from the position with the Economic Development Corporation, he and I developed a friendship that grew into a committed relationship. We have since married. I recognize that my personal life, given my public position, may invite scrutiny. However, I want to make it unequivocally clear. No decisions, votes, or actions of mine on this council have ever been influenced by my relationship with my now husband, and at no point has a conflict of interest or favoritism or undue gain arisen for Nathan. The calls for my inquisition while politically charged are not grounded in fact or in any violation of policy or law. They are based on false assumptions about morality and personal relationships, rather than on my record of public service or the integrity of my counsel in office. Beyond the facts, I want to speak to the hearts in this room. In the last few weeks, I've been called names, threatened, harassed online, attacked by strangers at my workplace, and my children have been dragged into conversations they never should have been a part of. My new marriage, my faith, my job, and my character have been targeted by people who do not know me or Nathan. And yet I'm standing here tonight not with anger but with peace. And I stand acknowledging that Bible scriptures are being posted online and weaponized to disparage me and my role as an elected official of this community. Proverbs 6:16 through 19 talks about 7 things that God hates. And I see at least 4 or 5 of these being displayed online. And this and the last city council meeting regarding me alone. There are 6 things which God hates, even 7 which are an abomination to him: haughty eyes, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood, a heart that devises wicked plans, feet that make haste to run to evil, a false witness who breathes out lies, and one who sows discord among brothers. Truth will always outlive rumors. And Romans 12:21 commands, do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. And that is the choice that I'm making. So to those who posted, accused, exaggerated, and slandered, to those who targeted my family, to those who filed complaints hoping to break me, I forgive you. Not because the behavior was right, but because I refuse to let bitterness take root in my heart. Hatred cannot heal hatred, and I will not carry the weight of what others have tried to put on me. But mostly I forgive because I've been forgiven. For those who have confessed that Jesus is Lord, that he died, and that he rose from the dead, we have redemption through his blood, the forgiveness of our trespasses, according to the riches of God's grace. Because God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish but have everlasting life. And this is the gospel for all who have been redeemed, and for all who would be willing to repent and believe. Ephesians 2:1 through 10 states, and you were dead in your transgressions and sins, in which you formerly walked according to the course of this world, according to the ruler of the power of the air, the spirit that is now working in the sons of disobedience, among whom we all also formerly conducted ourselves in the lusts of our flesh, doing the desires of the flesh and of the mind, and we were by nature children of wrath, even as the rest. But God, being rich in mercy because of his great love with which he loved us, even when we were dead in our transgressions, made us alive together with Christ. By grace you have been saved, and raised us up with him, and seated us with him in the heavenly places in Christ Jesus, so that in the ages to come he might show surpassing riches of his grace and kindness towards us in Jesus Christ. For by grace you have been saved through faith, and this not of yourselves. It is the gift of God, not of works, so that no one may boast. For we are his workmanship, created in Christ Jesus for good works, which God prepared beforehand so that we would walk in him. 1 John 1:3 and 8 through 9 says, that which we have seen and heard we proclaim also to you, so that you too may have fellowship with us. And indeed our fellowship is with the Father and with his Son, Jesus Christ. If we say that we have no sin, we deceive ourselves, and the truth is not in us. If we confess our sins, God is faithful and just to forgive us our sins and to cleanse us from unrighteousness. If there's anyone here who would like to learn more about God's wonderful love and forgiveness of sin through his Son Jesus, please reach out to me or my husband. We would love to talk to you and to pray with you and pray for you. I ran for city council because I love Mount Pleasant. I believe in responsible growth, unity, honesty, and community. And despite everything, I still do. This season has only shown me how desperately our city needs compassion, truth, and most importantly, Jesus. Tonight, I ask the community to hear the truth, my actual conduct and my actual service, not rumors, personal agendas, or online rage baiting. I also want to address the real and unnecessary burden that frivolous accusations place on our community. Every baseless complaint, politically motivated allegation, or rage-baiting storyline requires time, staff hours, legal review, and public resources to process, investigate, clarify, and report. That comes with both explicit financial cost and hidden opportunity cost, including attorney fees, administrative workload, delayed priorities, and diverted focus from the real needs of taxpayers and residents. Beyond the dollars spent, there's a social cost, unnecessary division, mistrust, rumor circulation, and polarization that weakens the very community we are all responsible to strengthen. These accusations are not rooted in governance, ethics, or policy. They're politically motivated efforts designed to create drama, damage reputations, and generate attention at the expense of public unity and resources. Our taxpayers deserve service, innovation, and progress, not theatrics, not weaponized rumors, and not manufactured controversy. At this point, with the political posturing that's now occurred on public record, I'm concerned that an online hate-filled activist group, mainly comprised of non-Mount Pleasant residents, is inciting the public to violence against me through incendiary, false, and misleading claims, and that this group has infiltrated and compromised a member or members of this elected body. The double standard and hypocrisy of this politically motivated vendetta is both appalling and absurd. I did nothing wrong. I broke no laws. I acted ethically, with integrity, and I will continue to do so. Tonight I stand before you with nothing to hide and nothing to fear, because truth does not tremble. I am still here by the grace of God. I am standing, and I will continue to stand. My heart is steady, my conscience is clear, and my commitment to this city is unshaken. Mount Pleasant, I love you, and I will keep you fighting for you with integrity, resilience, and grace until the Lord closes this door for me. Thank you all, and good night.
Anybody else? Dave? Dave?
Miss Melanie Knight did a very, very good job in speaking tonight. There's a single question. When did that relationship start? That's key. Second, she mentioned 2 times how the county and the city are divided. May I remind everybody here and listening that we are Titus County, and Mount Pleasant sits in the middle of Titus County. Titus County, as far as for the county, Titus County as far as the city, is the same thing. We all have the same worries and the same want of direction. The quicker this city starts realizing that, the quicker we're going to start being able to get together. We are the same, and it doesn't matter. Stop the division, Miss Melanie Knight.
Sure.
Holly Parker, Cookville. I've never just wanted to be clear, I've never commented online about this relationship, nor do I honestly care. I wish them the best, honestly. As a, so professionally, I review charities as organizations. I work with a lot of board of directors, and one of the issues we're constantly looking at is conflict of interest, right? And to make sure that the executive staff or any of the board members have no relationship on a possible contract, right? So they're not enriching themselves off of anything. So that's why the timeline of the relationship is the only issue. Because one of the things we look at is saying, do you have a conflict of interest policy, which you do? And is it annually enforced? And if it's not, right, and so the enforcement mechanisms are saying, if I am in a relationship with someone and we're working with a contract to ensure that I'm not taking party in the conversations related with that conflict of interest, I'm not present at the vote, and I'm not voting on the issue. And so that's the only question, at least for me, in this. I don't care about the relationship. I never have. Again, I wish them well. It's about, was there the disclosure in this when conversations are happening? Because otherwise that does 100% goes against conflict of interest, because it would be a perception of enriching themselves off of the taxpayer, right, without disclosing that. And you as a party have every right to know about that, to take that into, to make sure that she's removed herself from those conversations, which she should. Anyone should. If anyone's having a conflict of interest over a contract, you must notify your fellow citizens, your board, right, you guys, so that you can enforce that they are not the ones profiting off of that interest. So I just want to be clear, it's nothing personal. It never has been, and so that's all I'm concerned about for the taxpayer, is the transparency. Again, all I've ever wanted is transparency in issues to make sure that people don't think that there is further corruption or anything going on, because we dealt with that in the past. We want to move forward. Transparency is the key to winning over the trust of the citizen. Okay? Thank you.
Appreciate it. Come up. A little bit lower. No, I mean,
I'm going to keep it under 30 seconds. Miss Melanie Knight mentioned that she's being threatened online by certain people, et cetera, et cetera. I know she's not here. Hopefully she watches this. You guys know how to get in touch with her. If she is being threatened by somebody, bring it up. Bring it to the police, because that is not cool. And I know for a fact that I'm not, and I know the people behind me aren't, because if they were, I'd be going after them just as strong as I'm going after this corruption and these questions. So if that's truly